Hello traders, welcome back to the channel where trading is made easy with high level of clarity. Today is Wednesday, and Wednesdays we give updates on our top-down analysis and give you buyers on what to expect in the market. And today I will be covering US30 for one of our favorite subscribers that say we should cover it for him. Stay with us to the end of this video, because at the end of this video you will maximize your chance of winning in the forex market. Without wasting time, let's proceed. Today we are starting with GBPUSD, and when you look at GBPUSD, let's start from daily. Like we all know, top analysis is very important. When we look at GBPUSD, we discover that this market is currently creating series of higher highs and higher lows. But when we zoom out more, you will discover that this market is still in a very big bullish movement. Considering some of the things that we have here, which I've covered in my previous videos. By the way, I covered and analyzed GBPUSD when the market was still here, explain all the reasons why we should be expecting the market to move to the upside before continuation to the downside. Because of what? When you have equal top here and equal low here, markets always go to take them out because it serves as magnet to the price. And I explain all the reasons why we should be expecting the market to take out these highs before any other continuation to the downside. And market took it out. I explained and analyzed GBPUSD when it was here. Explain all the reasons why we should be seeing this move to the downside, to remove, to pull out or to liquidate these buyers here, because whenever you have equal highs and equal lows, the market makers knows that so many people put their stop loss above here, and once market take it out, it will now target the low where it knows that so many people put their stop loss below. So this is how the market moves. Equal lows and equal highs serves as a magnet to the price before more continuation to the direction it wants to go. Now, I explained all the reasons why we needed to see all this move, and GBPUSD did exactly how we analyze. I will advise and recommend you go through my previous video, because through that you will learn a lot. Without wasting time, let's proceed. Currently, GBPUSD is now creating series of higher highs and higher lows. And if today is your first time of being in this channel, there's something I want you to take note of. Whenever you see a market moving to the downside, and all of a sudden it wants to have that deep retracement, the market will come back to take out some internal liquidity, at least coming to other block of a value gap before continuation to the downside. That's exactly what GBPUSD has done at the buy side. And currently, when the market was creating series of lower lows and lower highs, right? The last significant liquidity that was taken was at this particular place, making this high a very strong high for us and for the market to come and test before continuation to the downside, which will give us that room for all these internal structures to be taken. But at the moment, the market is now creating series of higher high, which could open room for the market to come to this particular place before we start seeing more continuation to the downside. So when we move down to 4 hours lower time frame, what can we see? We can still see that this market is in a very bullish price movement, but I want us to understand something. Let's zoom. Now, whenever the market is in bullish movement, we don't need to see any gap left uncovered or any other block left unmitigated. Now, when you look at GBPUSD, you can see some gaps we are left at this particular place. What did market do? It came down and covered everything before continuation to the upside. And when you look at from here and this particular place, you will discover that no gap was left uncovered. But when we come to this bullish movement here, we can see that we have so many gaps left at this particular place. One of the most important thing is whenever you want to start trading any pair, you study the behavior. Let's look at it again. As you can see, no gap was left here. All the gap left, GBPUSD came back and filled all of them. And even when this particular gap that we can see here was left, right? What happened? GBPUSD came back with this week and filled all the gap before more continuation to the upside. Currently, we have so many gaps left at this particular place. What are we expecting? We're expecting the price to come down to fill these gaps left or fair or these imbalances before more continuation to the upside. Currently, the market had already filled the first, look at it, the first and the second gap. By the way, on Sunday, I explained all the reasons why we should be looking for more sell opportunity to the downside, and that's exactly what GBPUSD is doing. Currently, we still have some big gaps left. These and this left to be covered. So we should expect the market to at least cover this particular gap before we start seeing more continuation to the upside. So right now, what are we expecting? Since we have some gaps that need to be covered, what do? We look for sell opportunity to the downside, or at least for it to cover these gaps before we continue taking to the market to the upside, because we have a valid order block at this particular place. Why is it valid? Because this low took out this internal liquidity, right? Making it a very strong low. So we should be expecting the market to come back, at least to take out this, come to this other block before we see more continuation to the upside. So having said that, let's proceed. Now, currently, what are we expecting? We are now expecting the market to at least give us a valid point of interest before we start looking for more opportunity to the downside, considering what we are already seeing on our DSY. Remember, last week on Sunday, I explained all the reasons why we should always look at DSY before going to any other currency pair. By the way, if you have not seen that video, go back to my previous video on Sunday. You will get more insight on how to use DSY to analyze USD pairs, because DSY is what controls the strength of the dollars of the dollar. DSY means dollar index. So I recommend you go through that previous video. Let's proceed. Now, what do we have right now? We are looking for the opportunity that will take this market to the downside. By the way, it's good that you start from daily and 4 hours, then you move to the other lower time frame. Then on 1 hour, what do we have? Now, on 1 hour, we can see that right now the market is stylishly creating series of lower lows and lower highs. And when market is creating lower lows and lower high, what do? We continue looking for more opportunity today downside. And currently, right now, we can see what the structure of the market is giving to us right now. We had that break of structure at this particular place, right? As we can see, we have that break of structure to the downside. And what happened? Now, this high right now swept this internal liquidity created before that break, now giving us a valid break of structure. In a situation like this is now a fake break of structure. Why? Because the high did not sweep any liquidity before that break. But right now, we have a valid break of structure. Why is it valid? Because the high that broke this particular structure to the downside swept a very good what? Liquidity before that break. Currently, this happens to be our very strong what? High. So that is now where I am looking at, because it's now serving as my trading range, strong high. It's now serving as my trading range from here and this particular place. So whatever the market is doing, I will only concentrate on what I am seeing here. And currently, remember, the market is creating series of lower lows and lower highs, and we are looking for more opportunity to take the market to the downside. So in that situation, we have a very good high with an order block, as you can see, with a very good order block. And that order block has a fair value gap. Remember, whenever we have a fair value gap and order block with a fair value gap, it makes it very, very strong. Now, considering that also, we have this internal structure created that we knew that the market was going to take out, because when we get to 5 minutes, you can see that we have that internal structure created after this break of structure. If you are just new in this channel, I want you to always acknowledge this. Whenever the market is breaking structures and we have a structure, a high that broke structure without that high taking out liquidity, let our market will come back to take it out before continuation today downside. And that's exactly what we are seeing now. The market has already taken this as internal liquidity, and market is now coming to this particular order block. So we could be looking for that opportunity at this particular place. Stop loss just above this high, and we are going to now target this as what our take profits. Remember, 3-to-1 risk reward is more than okay in the market, but you can, depending on the momentum of the market, you can target to at least to this particular place, given which we give you about 5-to-1 risk reward. But don't be that greedy in the market. 3-to-1 risk reward is very, very much what? Okay. So on GBPUSD, this is what I'm expecting. And if the market decide to go above this high and close above this high, then I will now continue looking for more opportunities today upside. Remember, trading is reactive and not predictive. If this market closes above this, that means the market has refused to come down to fill this gap, and it will come back in the future. So if the market closes above this high, then I am having now change of character. I will start looking for more opportunity to the upside, considering the kind of chart pattern the market is now giving us, which is what we call bullish what flag. So I'm not a pattern trader, but I'm just saying this should in case the market does otherwise. But I strongly believe that this market is going to sell today downside further. So on GBPUSD, this is what we are looking for. Expect that liquidity sweep at this particular place tomorrow, because right now the momentum in the market is gone. After that, you start looking for that opportunity today downside. So that's my setup on GBP USD, and I have a very good setup again on USDCHF before we come to gold and other pairs. Now we have USDCHF. First of all, congratulations to some of us that caught this particular opportunity on Sunday. I explained all the reasons why we should be expecting this market to react from here to the upside. Because when we get to 15 minutes, we saw that particular order block there. As you can see, look at it there, and I have said this time with that number. If this is your first time on this channel, whenever you have order block, let's delete this. Whenever you have order block like this with a very fair value gap, and you start noticing some wicks beside it, you treat all of them as one. So that is why we marked this order block, right, and added these wicks before having this. And guess what? The market came tapped inside that order block. Immediately market opened on Monday, and the market continued moving to the upside, giving us this wonderful 3-to-1 risk reward. Congratulations to some of us that caught this particular opportunity. And what do we currently have on USDCHF right now? As you can see, I also mentioned this particular zone, why we should also be expecting the market to come to this particular zone. It should, in case the market did not respect this. And currently, market has already given us this setup, and it is coming to this particular zone. Why? Now, when you look at this, I want us to observe something, right? You can see how this market stylishly created this inversion of trend, creating series of lower lows and lower highs to now creating higher highs and higher lows. Now, if you still remember, a few minutes ago, I spoke about something, right? Whenever you are trading and you discover that a market created high without those lows sweeping liquidity, market will always come back to take it out, coming to other block of fair value gap before continuation to the upside. And when you look at it, this is what exactly this market is trying to do. Now, the market gave us this low. This low did not sweep any liquidity before this break of structure and also a change of character, right? It didn't give us that sweep of liquidity before the trend was changed. Considering what our DSY gave us on Sunday, which we all saw that. So right now, what do we expect? We expect all these internal structures to be taken before more continuation to the upside. So having said that, I am expecting these and these lows to be taken out, just like what happened at this particular place, right? Now, as you can see, this market created this high here, and all these internal structure, these 1, 2, 3 structures were what's taking out, market coming to this particular place before we started seeing this. So since the market had already changed its trend, definitely we should be expecting it to happen. And this setup is still what? Valid, much valid. We are still expecting it because we have what? A very powerful order block here with a very good fair value gap, and we're expecting the market to respect it when it comes to this place, at least giving us a very good 3-to-1 risk reward. Please don't be aggressive here. Remember, trading is reactive and not predictive. Always wait for that change of trend, and if you don't have a very good entry model, go to my previous videos. I think I have given some good entry models, right? So this is what we are expecting. And if the market decides to come to take out only this one created before this break to the upside, then we should what be looking for that setup at this particular place. But I strongly doubt, because we have 15 minutes order block just at that particular place. Let's quickly see that. Okay, not order block, right? We have fair value gap there. So the market could respect this fair value gap after taking out these internal structures. So if the market decides to respect that particular zone, you look for that change of trend at this particular what place. Currently, the market is already taking out this low. So if you see that change of trend at this particular place, you can take it. But I strongly believe the market is coming to this particular place. So on USDCHF, this is what I am looking for. Then we have a very good order setup on gold, right? Now on gold, okay, let's quickly delete this thing. Okay, first of all, congratulations to some of us that caught this particular move. When you go through our previous analysis on Sunday, I explained all the reasons why we should be expecting gold to react from this particular place, and gold did exactly that. So congratulations to some of us that utilized the opportunity. Currently, what do we have on gold? So we are going to delete this, delete this, and delete this, and okay, we still have this active order. So let's delete it and look at what we currently have on gold. Now on gold, when you look at what we currently have, we can see a market that is creating series of higher highs and higher low, and at the moment still ranging, right? When you go to daily time frame, I think let's delete everything and have a clean analysis. When you look at it, we discover that this market is in a very bullish movement, right? And whenever the market is on a very bullish movement, what do? You look for opportunity to continue taking the market to the upside. By the way, I spoke about gold when gold was at this particular place, explaining all the reasons why we should expect more continuation to the upside, because gold came to this order block at this particular place after taking out this internal structure at this particular place. And gold came to this particular place. I explained all the reasons why we should be expecting more continuation to the upside, and gold did exactly that. When gold broke to the upside and market was here, I explained all the reasons why we should be expecting more buy continuation from this particular place. Why? Because when a very strong area of resistance is broken, it turns to support, and that's exactly what gold has done. Now, the market is still moving to the upside, and I pointed out a very good structure at this particular place. When gold was at this particular place, I explained all the reasons why we should be expecting this daily order block to be filled before we start seeing any other continuation to the upside. And that's exactly what gold has done. Currently, gold is between this particular what range, which is what between this daily order block, buy order block, and okay, let's quickly just make it like this: daily order block, right? Buy order block, and this resistance, which is bearish order block at this particular what place. So the gold is struggling to break this market today upside. So I want you to understand that while we drop down to lower time frame. Then when we get to 4 hours, everything is quite defined right now. And when you look at it, we had that very good break off structure on 4 hours already. Now, when we have a situation like this, what do you expect? You expect at least for some internal structures to be taken out before continuation to the upside. And when we look at it right now, gold has been trying so much to close every gap left while moving to the upside. When you look at it right now, when we had these gaps left, gold came back to cover everything before continuation. Now, gold has left a very significant gap at this particular place, which we could see the market coming to fill. Despite the market came a little down to fill it, but didn't feel it well because we still have that gap left at this particular place. So we could see gold coming to what? Feel it. Why? Because of what? We have all these lows. There are a lot of liquidities resting below this low, and the market makers could come back to take everything out before continuation to the upside. So let's delete this. So this is the first point of interest. So let's go to 1 hour to see if we can have a very good order block there. Now, as you can see, below that gap, we have a very good order block there, right? And we have another something like order block that have fair value gap there. Look at it there, as you can see. We have this order block with fair value gap. So when markets approach this particular place, you have to be very careful. Wait for that change of trend before you start trading, because I will be treating all as what? As one, but I'm going to be marking this particular one because that is what is resting below this gap. So on gold, we could see the market coming to this particular place before we see that more move to the upside. Considering what we are already seeing and what I've told my students in my mentorship program, Time Without Number, whenever you see a structure broken, don't make any trade until you see the market taking out some liquidity before more continuation to the upside. So we could see this, what happen. So first of all, this is my first point of interest. Remember, don't be greedy in the markets. 3-to-1 risk reward is more than okay in the markets. Then you can now start targeting these what? Highs, right? This first. Then secondly, as you can see, all the gaps here has been filled. And let's take our time and analyze this price action we are having here. Now, we can see that this is a break of structure, a very valid break of structure. Why is this valid? Because of what? It swept this highs liquidity, right? It swept this high liquidity before the breaking of this structure. What we don't want to see is market going above it, because once market goes above it now, it will turn to be what? Change of character. And that's exactly what has happened. So we have that change of character at this particular place. And once this happens to be change of character, then this has to be our very strong what? Low. So this happens to be our very strong low now that we don't want to see market go below. Once market goes below this low, then we should be expecting this market to start buying from this particular place or to sell at least to this particular structure before we start seeing any other buy movement to the upside. Now, since we have this, let's analyze further. Now, after this change of character, that's exactly what we have been saying. Look at what happened. Market came back to take out all these internal structures created during that move, coming back to a very good order block that we have here on 5 minutes because I caught this trade and people in my signal group caught it. So currently right now, what are we expecting? Now, since these lows swept some liquidity before giving us another break of structure, yes, we have that candle close, then this happens to be now our very strong low. Now, we can boldly see that something tricky is already happening at this particular place, right? Now, this happened to be our recent strong low. So let's delete this. Our recent very strong low. Why? Because it swept liquidity before breaking a structure. And right now, the market has come down, sweeping all the internal liquidity and sweeping this particular liquidity, but didn't close below it. If the market had closed below it, then we should be looking for more sell today, downside. But currently, the market is still above it. So if the market closes below this, then we should be looking for more sell to the downside, at least maybe to this particular place. But in situation like that, we still have this particular low, very, very, very active. And this low that swept this liquidity was still above, very, very active. And when we zoom out, we will discover that we have a very good fair value gap at this particular place. And whenever you see fair value gap like this, markets always respect it. And so currently now, this is our trading range. Trading range is always very, very vital in whatever you are doing, right? This is our trading range now. This is our trading range. And for this market right now, how do we approach it? Now, let's move to lower time frame to see what is happening there. Okay, everything is quite defined right now. As we can see, we had a market that swept this internal high liquidity before this break of structure. Look at it there. I think we have to go to 5 minutes now. Yeah, did it happen? Yes. Okay. That swept this high liquidity before this break of structure. Now, what we don't want to see is markets going much above it again. A market had already gone above it. So let's identify that. So this market had already gone above it. And from what we are seeing also, this high swept this internal liquidity. Is a break of structure. And okay, let's identify it as a fake break of structure. Then this high right now had already taken it out, as a liquidity before this break. What we don't want to see is market going above this, and currently market has gone above it, giving us that change of character. So let's see what we currently have here. Now that we have a very good change of character, what do we expect to happen? Now, this valued change of character right now gave us this low before that, after that change of character coming back again. Wow. Okay. Now, this low, remember what I said a few minutes ago, right? Whenever you see a market change character or break structure, right? It will always come back to take out the last low that didn't sweep any liquidity before continuation to the upside. And when you look at what we have right now, we can see that This low did not sweep any liquidity, right? Now, market has come back and swept that particular liquidity right now, giving us this right now to be our very strong low. So let's proceed. Currently now, okay, currently we can see, okay, let's go to 3 minutes because this is good. We can see how this market was creating series of lower lows and lower highs, and currently now it's creating kind of higher highs and higher lows. And from what we can see again, we can see that this market broke this a structure to the downside. I am doing a very good top-down analysis here because this is good. Gold, you have to go to lower time frame because of how volatile it is. We had that break of structure, and this break of structure came after this internal high has been what? Swept as a liquidity. And remember, that high broke this as what? As a structure. Now, okay, let's go to 1 minute to see how everything look like. Yes. Okay, let's look at it now. Now, this happened to be a break of structure, right? Before we discover this sweep of liquidity, what we don't want to see is market going above this, right? And market had already gone and closed above it. So what are we expecting? We're expecting internal structures to be taken, all these internal structures, all these internal what? Structures to be taken. So currently, market had already taken all the internal structures, but here we have a very good order block at this particular place that is yet to be filled, as you can see. And in that situation, we treat everything as one because of what? The week. So since we have identified this, the market might not come to this particular place. Why? Because when you take your Fibonacci level, you can discover that this market had already come to discount level, and which is a very good discount level, which is 50%. So let's go to a little higher time frame to see. So in that situation, I'll be looking for that entry at this particular place. If the market comes back to this particular zone, then I'll be looking for that entry here, right? Targeting 3-to-1 risk reward, or at least I target this high, or okay, let's say this high, which is giving us already 5-to-1 risk reward. Let's complete it. Yeah, this high, this 5-to-1 risk reward. So this is my first entry, right? If the market decides to go below this particular place, then I will be looking for that particular entry, second entry at this particular place, because we have a very good order block there with very good fair value gap. This will be the second place that I'll be looking for that opportunity, right? Putting my stop loss just below this low, right? Then I'll be targeting this high, which will also give me that good 3-to-1 risk reward. Okay, at least I'll be targeting this high. But trading is reactive and not predictive. Don't be aggressive trader when it comes to gold. Wait for that change of trend at this particular place before entering. But if the market decides to close below this, then I'll be waiting for the market to sell to this particular place before I start looking for more buy opportunity. Remember, trading is reactive and not predictive. We are giving you buyers in case the market behaves according to whatever we are doing. And I recommend that you go through my previous videos. It will clarify your doubt that you are at the right place. So on gold, these are the opportunities and my points of interest. If I see that particular sweep of liquidity here, market taps here, then I'll be looking for that. I'll be entering very, very much aggressively here because the stop loss is very, very small. So I'll be entering aggressively here, and I'll be waiting for that change of trend here. But if I didn't see that change of trend at this particular place, then I'll be looking for that particular sweep of liquidity of these zones at this particular place before I start looking for that opportunity today upside. So on gold, this is what I am expecting. Then on US30, I have a very good position there and setup. Let's start from daily time frame. As you can see on daily time frame, we can see that this market is moving today upside. And whenever you see a market moving to the upside, you start looking for more opportunity to take it to the upside. But I want us to observe something, right? This market is moving to the upside, and this low, right? This low created this break of structure after the sweep of all these internal liquidities. As you can see, all these internal liquidities before it broke the structure. So this is a valid break of structure. So let's understand that and identify this as a very good break of structure. So in that situation right now, this happened to be our very strong low, and this low right now broke this after this break of structure. It gave us this low that did not sweep any liquidity. As you can see, this is the this happened to be the last low, but the market did not sweep it. Then it created a fake breakout today upside. This is what you call fake breakout. Fake breakout is identified when the low or high that broke a structure did not sweep any liquidity. So after that, what did market do? Market came back to take out this low, this internal structure, and this internal structure before more now changing trends to creating higher highs and higher lows. So I want us to understand that, right? Now, but when we look at it right now, you will discover that US30 love closing every gaps left. Even this gap left, market came and covered it before any other movement to the upside. But here right now, we have only one gap left here, which is this. And that gap that we have left here right now have a very good valid order block. Why is it valid? We have that order block there and we have that gap above it. So let's identify it and move to lower time frame. Now, when we move to lower time frame, we can see that currently the market is struggling to continue moving to the upside. And considering that the market is currently reacting from this order block, bearish order block, despite it's here to tap inside there. But in that situation, we can see that the market is already creating series of higher highs and higher low. So this is a valid break of structure. Why? Because we can see that this low swept the liquidity before this break, and this low entirely swept this particular internal liquidity, right? So this is a valid break of structure. So since we have this break of structure, what do we have? We now want them to see the market to continue moving to the upside. But after this break of structure, the market created this low, and this low has created a new high without sweeping any liquidity. So what do you expect? So this now we identify it as fake breakout. So what do you expect? We expect this low to be taken out before we start looking for any other continuation to the upside, considering that we have very good fair value gap left at this particular place. So let's adjust this. Let's modify this to this order flow. Now, since we have this and we can see how the market is gently creating series of lower lows and lower highs. So when we drop down to lower time frame, which is 1 hour, we can now discover that this low did not sweep any liquidity, and the market is now creating what? Series of lower lows and lower highs. So in this particular place, and we don't have any valid order block left at this particular place. So on US30, we'll be expecting this market to come down to this particular place before I start looking for more continuation to the upside, because this is the only order block that we have here left, and that's where the market is currently. But if this market gives us a valid change of character at this particular place, then I'll be looking for more continuation today upside. Let's drop down to 15 minutes. Let me see if we have that valid order change of character. Okay, I have not gotten clear change of character at this particular place. But if this market gives us a very good change of character here, then we should be looking for more opportunity today, upside at this particular place. But I still believe that the market is still going to come down. Why? Now, when you go to 1 hour, you discover that this market is currently on a very good order block there. This order block has a very good fair value gap, right? But the only challenge now is this low did not sweep any liquidity. So wait for a very good change of character at this particular place before you start taking the market today upside. But if the market succeeded in giving you that movement to the downside, then wait for that entry just at this particular place, because this is where I am expecting this particular market to come. Then I will target that 3-to-1 risk reward here, or I will now target the previous highs. So on US30, this is what I have. And on gold, this is what I want us to be looking at, right? Let me go to lower time frame. This is what I'm expecting on gold, right? Then on GBPUSD, this is also what I am expecting. Is already doing that. So expect that liquidity sweep immediately market opens, and once you see that entry, you take it to the downside. If you have not subscribed, remember to subscribe, like, share, comment, turn the notification button on so that whenever we upload videos like this, you'll be the first to get the notification. Your like notification motivates us to create more quality free educational videos like this. Wishing you people more successful trading days ahead. Thank you.